we have old friends and wonderful people. We've got René and Denvar Marks here tonight. And we want to encourage you, to get hold of people, let them know that we're on, tell them that we're tell them we're on, share. And I see we've got a second person on, so we're making some progress. Please, whoever you are, start sharing and then also and tagging, and then also please say hello to us. So Denvar and René, you are in South Africa.
Yeah, it's so good to be here.
Yeah.
The only thing is we obviously planned to be here Christmas time, but little did we know that we will be coming to funerals.
Yes.
It's quite a hard time, you know.
It really is.
Yeah.
It was actually quite a blow
Yeah.
when we got the news about your dad, Richard.
Well, that was something I never expected.
The least expected news to receive, you know.
I
But-
never wore so many. I never wore so many suits in December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm dressed in my tracksuit today.
Yeah, so,
Sure.
yeah, hearing the news was just something else to us,
Yeah.
you know. But we, like I said to you the other day, we're so thankful that we could actually be here,
Yeah.
you know.
And I'm so thankful that you are here. We're already up to 16 people, 19. It's climbing fast, but no one's saying hello. Come on. Lucia, she sent a heart.
Hey,
Come on,
Lucia.
Lucia. You are a blogger, and you are sending us pictures. Where are the words? Come on. So please send us, please say hello to us. And then also please, and also Charlotte Clark, feeling so blessed to be online tonight. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Charlotte. So glad you're on. Please, can you share, especially on YouTube? You can share via WhatsApp. And then I see Desiree Phipps has already started to tag people. So
Hi,
everybody
Des.
loves Denvar
Hi,
and René.
everybody.
Hi, Angie.
Oh, there we got someone from Dar es Salaam as well.
Hey,
Oh,
Nikki.
really? Who?
That's
Greetings from
Nikki.
Nikki.
Yeah, that's that's our spiritual daughter actually.
Oh, wow.
We miss you, Nikki and EJ and Johan.
They just had a little baby.
Lucia is being very original. She wrote, hi.
I'm sure she has more words.
And
in
then,
the
good
vocabulary.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Oh, I see Clifton Levacker's on as well.
Oh, all the way from
Oh,
Spain, eh?
he's in...
Cliffy.
Yeah.
No, he's in Portugal.
Portugal, sorry.
in
Portugal.
Portugal.
Hi,
Yes.
Cliffy and Farah, Zay and Zana.
They're
Lots
Lucia's
of
starting
love
to
to
tag
you.
now.
Yes, I see.
Yeah, yeah.
Lucia, well done. I'd rather you tag than... That's Mama and Baba, River House. Christopher Fritz Johnson. Hello, pastors. I've been in KZN for almost a year and a half, but always tune in. So glad to have you with us, Christopher. Madge Blichnout, looking forward to the interview. Shaden Falkers, please come on, Shaden, where are you? Cindy van Willig says, hello, family. Nikki says, love and miss you guys. Nikki, come, tag some people now. The way you do it is you put the @ sign and then you put people's names. Let's get this out.
Watching all the way from Jutnik.
And I,
Stays Jooster.
I also see Frank and Henriette. Lots of love to you guys.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Their daughters are so big now.
And Dinah Morapedi, we miss you so much. Thanks for the message, Dinah.
And then, Mom, hi, family. So good to see you online. Keep going, Lucia. I'm very impressed. Madge has kicked in now. Keep going. So,
Good stuff.
So I want to thank everyone who's tagging and sharing. The audience is climbing really nicely. Hi, Trix Livingston. The Livingston family are watching. So nice to
Awesome.
have them on.
Oh, and I see Letitia Tiart, Gideon.
No, and look, Nikki is impressive, eh?
Oh, Nikki's tagging some people. That's good.
Awesome,
That's
Nikki.
good.
I'm impressed.
Oh, there we have Letitia Tiart from Cape Town.
Oh,
Self and Gideon, they're also pastors there. They've been planting a church there as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's good to have them as well. With
Good
a
to
little
see
daughter,
you.
Esther.
Yeah, Nikki is going for it. I'm
Nikki's-
impressed.
She's tagging.
See,
Yeah.
and then Desiree Phipps, Gillian Lai Wing. Gillian often comes on, Larissa Thompson. So the audience is climbing really nicely. Now, we're going to start to talk a bit now, but here's your chance to to ask the questions of Pastor Denvar and René you always wanted to. I am going to be a bit of a sifter. So if you ask any silly questions, I may not ask them. But let's have a bit of fun tonight. So, what made you jump on a plane when you heard my dad passed away?
Wow. Look, the thing is, we're one of your dad's sons and daughters. And obviously, it was an honor to be, we had to be here.
We could not come,
We
Richard.
would probably try and move heaven and earth to be here,
Yeah.
How can we not be here to help lay our papa to rest? So it was quite an experience. Although I believe that it's a bittersweet time, but yet I believe it was the time, his time. And what a powerful time we had, because I could feel the presence of God. And it was an awesome time. The memorial service, what a powerful time to hear from all different people from all over the world of how he impacted men of those caliber, how he impacted their lives was awesome. There's so many people's lives he impacted that I don't think people even are aware of,
I mean,
Sure.
even we have, with Nikki watching from
Yeah.
Dar, I remember when we shared the news with him, Johanna's husband, he just sobbed his
They
heart
just
out.
broke down and
because
sobbed,
they
yeah.
had the awesome privilege to meet him
Of
when
meeting
he
him
was
as well.
there.
When
And
he
he
came
was
there.
actually their driver
Yeah.
when he visited. And I know that your dad actually
Your dad
fell in love with this
Your
character.
dad was fond of them, yeah.
Yeah, very fond of Johanna. He's actually Sri Lankan.
Yeah.
So they had a good bonding time in Dar.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Fenton and Nadia are watching. Abby Bluchnoot.
Oh, hi, Fenton, Nadia.
Yeah. And then Marie Lottering is tagging, so we want to thank you. Now,
Yeah.
Renee, you said you couldn't not come. What made you feel that way?
Your dad's been our father. I mean, I was,
Sure.
I
When you
remember,
begin,
I must have been about 16, 17 when I saw your dad.
Sure.
We saw him in the newspaper. But I remember coming to church. I was at my previous church, serving in the Baptist church. And I mean, we've known, the city has known Word of Faith for, for outreaches, for evangelistic campaigns. And so I was one of the kids that was in the service. And I remember sitting up here in the bleachers and actually seeing a miracle take place
Yes.
on this platform. I saw a leg grow out. Pastor Jimmy was holding a man's leg, and my eyes popped,
Yes.
So
Sure.
being introduced to this man of faith, I had no idea that I would eventually be not just a member here, but a daughter of this house,
When I remember as a kid watching, it was one of the favorite things that he used to do, is that he'd pray for people and then their legs would go like this
Yep.
in his hands.
Yep.
And you could see that their bodies weren't shifting. It was just the power of God's strength.
Yeah.
There were so many of those miracles that took place.
Yeah.
I can remember as well. I should be one of those being there in front to check it out,
Yeah.
So that was powerful, man.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I remember being in the service and someone actually jumping out of a wheelchair right here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was
Well,
absolutely
which one?
amazing. Yeah, there were so
Look,
many.
I was intrigued by his big voice and his, when he came into a room or when he came into the church and he started speaking, you knew he's there, He had this big voice, this deep voice. Like I said, he commanded respect,
Yeah.
Just people looked up to him, people respected him, many pastors respected him. And he made a real impact in our lives,
And he was always present.
Yeah.
He was
In our first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was always present. He was always
Yeah.
just interested. Like I shared with our first baby, Mercedes,
He was there first.
He was there. We always laugh about it, So there's just some really special
He
memories
blessed
as
this
well.
relationship. When we went out, we were courting, he blessed, he blessed
He was
us.
so happy for Denver,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he was finally
Well, we
happy.
all were.
I think your dad was finally happy. Finally, this guy got a girl,
Yes. Although there were,
There's hope for him, there's hope.
let's not play innocent, Denver. There were others, but she's the one.
She's the one that stole my heart.
She's the one that stole your heart.
Yeah,
But
sure.
I see Karen Morkel says Pastor D loves to pray and do that too. I'm praying for legs to grow out.
Yeah, we also started doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's Camillus here.
Yes.
Welcome,
from-
Camillus. I see
from
Karen as
Johannesburg.
well. Karen served with us
From
in
Johannesburg. Yeah.
Dar es
Yeah.
Salaam,
Yeah.
so good to have you on.
Yeah.
And
Karen.
Camillus, my fellow CrossFitter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although he's much better than me, I only go sometimes. It's been busy. But I have known Denver since, I think it was 1984, 1985. I remember meeting him up on Mount Pleasant, I think it was 1985, Mount Pleasant School Field. And we were supposed to be playing a cricket match, but Denver was more interested in talking to everybody. So he went around and chatted with everybody, and I don't think he really noticed where the ball went.
True.
Maybe I can admit it now. It's okay. Because yeah.
But so I've known Denver for years and years and years. So it's a real privilege for me to be chatting with them. Now, we are here to really talk about what you're doing in Tanzania, because Tanzania is actually a long way away from here. And most of us have little concept of what it's like, what's going on there, and what you are doing there. And so I thought we needed to chat with you and find out a bit about Tanzania. Now, here's your chance to ask any questions that you've always wanted to find out from Pastor Denvar and René. I see Yolandi Hoffman says, Pastor Jimmy made an impact on many of our offenders and members at St. Albans Maximum. It's true, Yolandi.
Yeah.
He was so disappointed when lockdown kept him out.
Yeah.
He was determined to transform the prison. So when lockdown ends, we need to find a way to restart that ministry, because our heart is to transform our city, and we need to start in St. Albans.
With my previous visit, I still remember going with Pastor Jimmy to the prisons. He still took me with him.
Yeah.
What an awesome time we had there. Sure. This is just before obviously this lockdown was established. Yeah.
Now, one of the things I respected about Dad, and we're going to talk to you about you, don't worry, is that when Pastor Poncho came and he talked to us about how he transformed the prison, within a month, Dad was in the prisons. So he didn't allow the grass to grow under his feet ever. He was determined to go and do that. And I've been encouraging our congregation to pick up that spirit. Let's not let the grass grow under our feet. Let's get out there and transform our city. Now, how long have you guys been in Tanzania now? I was trying to think and I can't remember.
I think it's about 6 years now.
Is it 6 years
now.
already?
Yeah, 6 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Long time, yeah.
I remember
Now,
2012.
remember your mic, René.
I remember 2012, we actually got a word from God saying that God is calling us there.
Yeah.
We spoke it was December, and then we spoke to Pastor Jimmy, the leadership, and then 2014 eventually. And then that's the time we went here.
Alwetu Dwane asks, how's the heat treating you over there, Pastor?
Oh my. You can see I actually haven't acclimatized yet. It's been, they say normally if you're staying in another country for 2 years, your body, you start to acclimatize. But listen, I'm still with my cloth here. And I'm a man of the cloth, as you can see. And my cloth, that side is, I must admit, it is a bit bigger than this one. So I'm just sweating all the time. Even yet, I'm still sweating. Can you believe it? It's quite hot there. The humidity is high,
Yeah, Alowetu, let me tell you, I don't think you'll ever get used to the humidity there.
Yeah.
You just learn to live with it,
What sort of temperatures does Tanzania run?
Look, it can be about up to 32, 33, 34 degrees, but the humidity is like 75% or something.
It's even higher.
And 32 degrees that side is not the same as 32 degrees this side.
Yeah. No, I mean,
You know?
temperatures have definitely shot up
Yeah.
to 38, 39 at some times, yeah. And I mean, now going into December, January, February, then it just shoots
32
up, you know?
degrees there feels like a 40 degrees, man. Yeah, you know.
It's just intense.
Is it like Thailand? Because I've been to Thailand and it runs about 32, 34 all the
It's
time.
similar, yeah.
And then the humidity builds and builds
Yeah.
and builds,
Yeah.
and then it rains.
That's it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it rains all the
Yeah,
time.
and I mean, you'd think that the rain would like cool down
It
everything.
never cools down.
It just actually intensifies, yeah.
Really intensifies,
Oh,
because in
yeah.
Thailand, the humidity would definitely be slightly alleviated by the rain.
You know, it breaks it for a minute or two and then it's back up again.
Yeah. Even, I mean, talk about winter seasons. I mean, you think winter, there will be a winter, but there's actually no winter
No,
over there.
no, no.
Although it cools down a bit in
Cools
June,
down.
but not really. Cools down to 27
20,
degrees.
22, 25, yeah.
So when you got to, does it cool down to 25?
25, yeah.
When is that?
June.
Okay, that's when I'll come visit you.
June. Yes, yeah.
But what I see, Pastor Manny says, hello family, so good to see you.
Hi, guys.
Look what Nikki says. She says it's so
So hot.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
Pastor Dean never wears a long sleeve.
No, that pastor, never wears long sleeves like, yes.
Oh, never. This is the
No.
first time they sing me in this, really.
Now, when you got to Tanzania, what was the first focus of your ministry?
When we first went there. Look, I got that scripture, Malachi 4:6. And we incidentally spoke about that in the Connect groups this week as well. So it's about God turning the hearts of the fathers to the children, the children to the fathers. That is our heart, to actually go there and to restore families, to restore the hearts of families to each other.
Are there lots of broken families in Tanzania?
Many, many, many broken families. In every so much so that you find that many of the fathers, and I think this is worldwide, but I've seen it really quite prevalent there in Tanzania, where the fathers would not actually have a relationship with their children. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Because maybe this is a stereotype, but because Africans think so collectively, I would have thought the families would be stronger there.
Yeah.
In fact, we just recently heard, and this was, I mean, we've been there for 6 years, and we're constantly learning new things about the culture and about
Yeah.
its people, you know. It's actually quite fascinating. And so we've got a godchild there. We miss her so much. Paul and Aurelia's daughter, Adiah. And so Adiah's second name is Paul, a dad's name.
Oh, really?
And I never actually, because I thought, it was quite hip and quite cool, you know, to have Adiah, Paul,
Yeah.
and then the surname. And I just recently found out that it is custom and law to name your child after the dad's first name.
Really?
That was
Yeah.
like a culture shock to me.
You've got to have your dad's first name. If you don't, you're an anomaly. They don't recognize you. So anybody that wants to become a citizen of Dar, your reference needs to be your father's first name. And that was just something that I'd recently heard of. In fact, another interesting thing, Richard, is that when a couple separates and divorces, that the kids actually end up staying with the dad,
Wow.
not with the mom.
That is a big thing for me to grasp.
Yeah, because here in South Africa, it's moved a bit where it was always the mother, always got the kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
But now they've moved to where it's very much, they try and keep both parents
Yeah.
engaged.
Yeah.
The support. The
Yeah.
support comes from the father.
They're quite strong on you need a mother and a father, which
Yes.
I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
There's no easy solution in. Now, is there lots of divorce in Tanzania?
Yeah, quite a bit. Quite a bit. And I think, you know, like Denver was saying, you know, when we first got there, in fact, remember, we were traveling to Tanzania for, I think, maybe 6, 7 years prior to us moving there.
Yeah.
We would go for he went more than what I did. But, I mean, we saw this dynamic, we saw the phenomena, more so when we came to the conference venue, and we saw these men sitting in the front rows, and then their wives sitting in the third and the fourth row.
Okay.
You know, and I thought it was quite strange that the women would be sitting behind the men. But that is, it's
You
culturally...
you never find the
correct.
husband sitting with their wives.
Is that, sure, and is that the traditional culture?
Yeah. It's tradition, and like we were chatting now, sorry, Denver, you know, it's filtered into the church as well. It's filtered into, into this.
Their lifestyle.
It's become a lifestyle
value.
as well,
I
in
mean,
the church as well.
We did actually a marriage seminar there, and then only to find out that the pastors that came, they said to us, this is the first time that we are sitting in a marriage seminar, you know, and things that we challenged, you know. Not in a harsh way, but obviously you can't just come and just enforce your cultures and your values on their ways, you know, of thinking. So when we started sitting together, they saw me and my wife together, holding hands, walking together, sitting together, ministering together. It was a massive, massive paradigm shift for them.
Yeah.
It challenged their mindsets, you know. So much so that we had to counsel some pastors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it brought a lot of healing within the family, because obviously that the father has got the say, you know.
The final say, it stops
in fact,
with them,
I remember when we went and visited some homes, the men would be the first to eat.
Sure.
We wouldn't be eating together. It was first the men and then the women.
It's interesting. I used to teach at Vista University, and I taught constitutional law, and then we would discuss issues, and I'd say, equality of women and proper treatment of women. They'd say, but culture. And I'd say to them, the culture that I come from is inherently racist. Are you telling me I must hold on to my culture?
Wow. Wow.
You know? Are you saying because it's culture?
Yeah.
And please, let me be clear, I'm not a racist. But the point is that English colonial and Afrikaans culture was traditionally racist. So, and must we hold on to our culture? Is just because it's culture. If there's problems with the culture, it has to change.
Yeah.
You know,
Look,
because Satan gets into every culture.
Yeah.
That's true. Because we've been teaching the people that in Tanzania, not against culture, but if culture contradicts the word of God and contradicts the move of God, and then we've got to change it. You know, I told them, doesn't mean because that's what you were told to do, that's the right thing to do. If it contradicts the word of God, you've got to change it. So these people get thoroughly saved, and they start to listen to what we say. It's true what you're saying, Pastor D, because this is actually no way that this is scriptural that we're doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to also say to them, my ancestors' culture was to dance around a stick and beat drums 1,000, 2,000 years ago. That's what they were doing. Is that what they must I go back and do that?
Yeah.
Now, stupidly, there's some European people who seem to want to go back to that stupidity. But the point is that we need to respect people's culture, and one of the big problems in Africa is there's been a lack of respect for African culture through the church, through the missionaries. But at the same time, culture has to conform with the Word of God.
Definitely. There's somebody saying there as well, that's a way to saying that that's the sad part about being African. Our culture constantly stands in the way of Christianity and biblical ways. Yeah. And also the other thing also, Richard, we've been there 6 years now. And this is a big thing, amongst the people there, the local people. Because their cultures, like they're everything, And you'll find even some of the pastors, they're still holding on their cultures, which is traditional, and some of it is good stuff. Good stuff. And we respect it greatly. We show them that. But some of it is obviously very unbiblical and is not going according to the Word of God. So what we've been doing, because we've been there for 6 years now, and people in the beginning checked us out. Hey, who is this new couple coming here? Check us out. Are we just coming and preaching the Word and flowing in the gifts and doing this and maybe taking the money of the people and going? But then they start to learn more about us. And they start to see, but this couple is actually with the community, and we're into their lives, we're spending time with them, we're loving them, we're counseling and visiting them in their homes and whatever. So this is actually what touched the hearts of people, where they could trust us now. So now we had to get to a point where we had to win their trust. And it takes time, unfortunately, It takes time. Because many of them would say, many evangelists came here and they just come and they just preach and there they go again, And we thought you one of those guys. But then they start to see, but these guys are down to earth. They're actually spending time with us. They're actually doing projects with us. They're building, they're interested in us and showing us acceptance and, teaching them, developing the gifts in them as well, saying you can also flow in the gifts, So this is what touched their hearts. And this is actually where we're going back to the first point we spoke about, where God's restoring family. God's restoring family. And we got some guys to go to a place where in their lives where they said, hey, I never thought I would actually say to my father, Dad, forgive me, or my son, forgive me. Never. Never would they thought that. And these guys were Christians and elders in churches for years.
Yeah.
He never thought that he would say to his son, listen, forgive me for not really being there in your life.
I think, the biggest miracles that we've really witnessed, if that had to be one of your questions, Richard, one of the biggest miracles that we've witnessed was fathers and son, a father and a son forgiving each other.
Sure.
Yeah. A father, being the patriarch, actually going to the wife, based on the conversation we just had, going to his wife and saying, you know what, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's been some of the biggest miracles I think we've witnessed,
Well, I see Pastor Frederick asking a question there. How has being in Dar changed you and your ministry?
That's
a good
beautiful
question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Before you answer that question, I'm going to ask that they post the account details for Denvar and René. If you want to, if you want to support them, please make a deposit into their account. That is their account details. So take it down, take a screenshot, whatever you need to do. But as you're hearing, they're doing a wonderful work for the Lord in Dar es Salaam, and we need to support them. So let's answer Frederick's question. Well, let me not answer it. You guys can answer it.
Wow.
René, let me read it to you.
No.
How being in Dar changed you in your ministry?
I was expecting the keys.
Let me just touch on something while you think of it. The one thing is, going through Dar, we found that, remember, we get so caught up this side in life, although life has changed dramatically, with this pandemic and what's happening.
Yes.
So we do things obviously differently now. Even we do church totally different. But now, how it's been in South Africa.
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
So are there also restrictions in Tanzania on how many people can meet?
There are also restrictions, but maybe not so tight, like they never issued any lockdown, but they're actually just giving out warnings, You have to also keep your social distancing, and believe me, in Africa, we don't know about social distancing at all. So it's difficult for the people to actually maintain that.
Yeah.
But we maintain that, with your mask and all that. So just to help answer Pastor Frederick's question, so coming to, we get caught up in hustle and bustle, and things are fast. Yeah, want to get busy, do this, and make money and do that. Just in general, people in business and stuff. So coming to Dar es Salaam, guys are more relaxed. I don't want to use the word lethargic because
there are people from Tanzania on this.
So not lethargic, Nikki, not saying lethargic, but people are more relaxed.
Happy.
And happier. And the word Dar es Salaam actually means
there is peace.
There's
Haven
peace,
of peace.
Haven of peace. And actually that's what it is. It's incredible when you land with a plane there. You can actually feel in the atmosphere the peace. When you land in South Africa, you can feel a different atmosphere. You actually feel the anger and the tensions. Weird.
Yes.
But it's a spiritual thing, obviously. But you can see the peace. So that has changed our life. I'm not saying that we were we had to slow down because you couldn't do so many things in one day. Like what I appreciated about being here is you could visit 8 people a day, and you could counsel and minister into their lives and stuff. But you could get around. But there, you have to plan your day. Like, for example, one family you have to visit for the day because of the restrictions, the limitations, the infrastructure. The roads are bad. So the traffic, there's more cars than roads there. So actually, to get to a place, it should take 10 minutes, but it actually takes 2 hours to get there, That's how hectic it is.
For real.
The
I
potholes
see
and the traffic.
Johan has
I
joined.
see.
Johan. Yes.
Miss you, Johan.
Yes, Johan
Good
is
to have
also
you.
from Dar es Salaam.
Oh.
Yeah. Johan is actually Nikki's husband.
Yeah.
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 So you were saying?
Yeah, from my side, I think a lot changed. Perspective changed. I think.
How did your perspective change?
So, here's my answer. Going there and then, setting up house and all of that, coming back. My first visit, I remember I was just sitting, with my own thoughts, and I'm thinking, okay, so how do we quantify success? Because what we usually do when we gauge what success looks like, so we look at how big the house and the car, and if we come into the Christian world, it's how big the church is and how many people we have in the church, And so, again, paradigms had to be changed because we have our pace slowed down, like from 150 right down to 1. Remember, we moved there, no vehicle. We had our suitcases. We had our 2 kids. I had to set up homeschooling, which I had no clue about,
She's done an incredible job, by the way. I must say so. Just scoring some points here, that's all.
And then, we get immersed in a culture that we don't know. We visited a few times, but moving there is just, it's a different thing, The currency is different, it's shillings. So it's 1,000, it's 23,000. I go to the shop and I'm like about to have like renal failure because like it looks astronomical. So it was massive. It was a massive leap, Richard. So a lot changed. And, I think as human beings, we're extremely hard on ourselves. We are very, very hard on ourselves. We in a society where, you've got to perform, you've got to do well, you've got to push for that 13th check,
There's nothing wrong with that, but it just...
Don't you like 13 checks through that?
I mean, yes, hallelujah, But over here, for myself as a mother, I had to start giving myself ticks. Getting up in the morning, making sure that my kids are doing their schoolwork, making sure that he is sane from being this chaotic, crazy, busy man, and now he's completely so slowed down.
I mean, there's times like I was like sitting there, I need to do something, I need to, get, and she's saying, just calm down, relax, calm down. So, so there's a big adjustment.
Everything changed for us. Everything changed. And so what happened is God took us back to the family, the 4 of us. Took us right back to that nucleus, that family nucleus, the 2 of us working together. Because oftentimes people in ministry, you can live past each other. Everything looks so romantic and beautiful on the platform, but back home, the numbers are not adding up. You're living past each other, you're pleasing the people, you're pleasing the crowd, but it's not the same story at home, So, for all our lives, we've been running together in ministry. All our lives, and it's been a wonderful journey. It's been absolutely wonderful.
One good thing that changed us there also in ministry was we spend more time actually just connecting with each other, which is important as husband and wife, and as the children as well growing up, crucial stage for their lives. Growing up from little girls to teenagers and now young women. That's so crucial for us to be part of their lives, and we have the most, I think personally, we have the most amazing relationship with our children, with our daughters,
we're thankful. Richard, Jordan was 9 years old when we went there. Mercedes was 12, So we in this area called Kariakor, we moved there. The only thing that happened was when God had spoken to us about going to Tanzania, my response was yes. It wasn't, okay, where are we going to stay? Who's going to support us? For me, the most important thing was just my response at that time. And in hindsight, maybe it was really foolish of me, And also in hindsight, had I asked those calculating questions, maybe I would not have said yes. And sometimes when we often relay the story, Denver, I always say sometimes God, and this is a struggle that we have with God, why did you not tell us that this was going to happen? Why did you not show us that this was going to happen? But sometimes, in fact, most of the time, God keeps our how away from us. Not from us, but for us.
That's true. I see Johan says, tell them Chipsy Mai
Chips my eye.
Chips my eye.
Kariku.
That's a,
Kariaku.
that's a street food.
So that's the area that we actually stayed in when we just got to Dar. We didn't know where we were going, and the people came and fetched us, and off we went to this this area called Kariako. Kariako, for those of you that are from PE or have traveled to PE, if you know Durban Road, Corsten, it is 50 million times
More.
Durban Road, Corsten. It is populated with people from every region. They come and they buy their shopping. They come and do their shopping over there, and then they go into villages and other regions to then sell those
We
produce.
stayed there the first year.
Yeah.
And then we only discovered afterwards that where are you guys staying? And we said, no, Kariako. They looked at us, dumbstruck, and they said, that is the most dangerous place in Dar es Salaam.
And we
Oh, my
only
word.
discovered that 6 months into living in
Oh
Kariako.
dear, and of course you've got a year lease.
A year lease. But you know what? Not once did we ever feel endangered. I mean, Denver, his bonding time was taking a walk with the kids in the dirt roads.
Compare
in
the crime
Kariako.
rate there to here, it's totally different, you know what I'm saying? You know?
Yeah.
So there's petty crimes. There obviously you find murders like in every country, but not compared to South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, I hope that we answered your question, Pastor Fred.
Yeah.
And then I see Karen said, I remember when I asked Mercedes what she looked forward to the most coming home to SA for December holidays that first year, and the response was streetlights.
Sure.
Can you
Yeah,
believe
there's
that?
no street lights, eh?
Do you know that in my area, half the street lights went out, and the local residents went and wrote down all the lights, went to the offices, and they're all replaced finally. But there's been unfortunately, there's been a real breakdown in our municipality. We trust it's going to start to get better.
Yeah.
Now, what are you guys doing now in Tanzania? Actually, let's before we get there. What is the landscape of Tanzania like? Like the foliage,
It's tropical. I'm sorry. It's beautiful. The oceans, I think, is to be envied. The ocean, we're right on the Indian Ocean. The water is ever ready to just jump in and have a decent plunge. The water is salty though, but I tell you,
Sunsets and the sunrise is
the
beautiful.
most incredible views. You don't have to drive a distance to go and find a good sunset. It's right there. You know, I've had the most remarkable birds come to visit me. I've had a flamingo. I've had kingfisher
wow.
come to visit me a couple of times. We've had some monkeys. You know, just a few, because it's where we are, situation close to the ocean. I don't know, for some other reason, they've got a home over there, some of the monkeys. But it's just beautiful.
Yeah, look, like bananas, for example, the fruit, they grow like weeds there.
yeah.
You find many people having stalls and just selling
even
fruit.
You go into Transkei,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
bananas just grow.
Yeah. But
I
I,
mean,
must be honest with you.
Yeah.
The bananas, there's nothing like a good banana
Nothing
from
compared to
Dar
the
es
bananas
Salaam,
there.
Tanzania.
The bananas there, like,
I just find it hard to have a
and
banana
the fruit
over
as
here.
well. The fruit is different.
Just, it's
Yeah.
sweet, it's
Look, it's all the preservatives and the
lush.
sprays we spray on the fruits.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
That's interesting. Rechard asks, what's the biggest change which the Lord made in you, which you would love to impart to your South African family? That's quite a good question.
That's such another
That's a good question.
beautiful question, eh?
Yeah. So what do you say?
For me, Denver, maybe you can answer for yourself, but just, just a complete dependency on the Lord, just a complete,
Yeah.
just dependent on Him, because every day comes with a new set of surprises, you know. You must know that it's quite ironic, actually, because you think, you know, Africa is a third world country, but it's one of the most expensive places to live.
Yeah.
You know, even the flights are some of the most expensive places to actually afford, you know.
To fly there.
And so I think, Rekha, to answer your question and everyone else that's listening, is really a complete dependence on the Lord.
Just to back up what my wife was saying, Rekha, the thing is, you know, it's not like South Africa. You have to pay a deposit and a double deposit when you rent. My friend, you have to pay 12 months rental in advance.
In USD.
In dollars, in most cases. But the government has changed that now. They've issued a new law saying that they can ask up to 6 months, even up to 3 months. And even if they want to, the owners, they can ask like month to month. So you find some of the owners not budging, you know, they're still wanting their 12 months. Some owners are good and they will say, give me 6 months rental or 3 months, you know. So that has changed our life dramatically when René was saying, because we just learned to walk on the water, and it's somehow it's safer there, you know, because our faith level has increased. We have to trust God for our rental, trust God for this, trust God for that. Even a car too. Like you're in South Africa, you buy your car, hire purchase, you can buy it cash if you want to. Yeah, I know that some people do that, but most people, they buy their car, they pay their car monthly off. There, you have to buy your car cash, brother.
Because it's a cash-based society.
So we have to trust God for all that, you know.
Yeah.
So our faith levels are shot through the roof type of thing.
I see Pastor Donovan from
Cape Town.
EKC.
Also one of our good friends,
lovely to have you on, Pastor D and Pastor C.
Yeah.
He says, Denvar Marks, would you give up walking on the water or staying on the boat?
To be honest, I would stay on the water because it's safer there. You know, it's safer there.
Oh, boy.
Going in the boat is just going backwards, you know.
Yeah. Do you know, one thing, Richard, before we moved, just with all the preparation, because, and I'm actually so grateful that we're having this chat tonight, because people, you know, they make up their own stories about how life looks, and but there's really it's a journey. It's just been a journey of absolute surrender and trust. And I remember one of the things when God was preparing my heart, I was busy building up this career and really excited about it. I found myself in a place where I'm like, okay, this is it now, you know. This is it. And I remember the Lord said to me, René, will you give this up for me? Do you know that I'm bigger than a salary? That's what he said to me. And I knew that it was him speaking to me. It wasn't an audible voice, but I knew that still small voice. You know, it's still, but it echoes so loudly. And that's how he wooed me, you know, just to trust him and to lean into him and lean on him for everything that we needed. And let me just share this beautiful story as well. I remember
while you share this with this Rosalie Farrell, also one of the ladies from
Mama
the church.
Rosalie,
she's
so good to have you
in Canada
on.
right now with her daughter giving birth. So she's saying hi from Canada. So
love to you, and
bless you too.
Stephanie and Elton on the other side. So when we got to Dar, and we in Kariakor, and you know, we did this brave move. We said yes, we're there with our suitcases, and
at least the spices were good.
Oh my goodness me, the spices are so amazing. So
Anyway.
now, you know, the romance and all of that just suddenly lifted.
Yes.
And the reality just kicked in, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we've got suitcases. There isn't a chair for us to sit on. I never even calculated what my first meal for my family was going to be. But you know what happened? When I walked into the kitchen of that apartment, there was a chicken.
Oh, wow.
There were 2 yogurts for the kids. There was a packet of spaghetti, tomato sauce. There was a broom and a mop and a couple of essentials. And right there was my first preach that I will take with me to eternity.
And where did that come from?
It came from some of the family that received us there, one of the local families that just brought a couple of you know, groceries for our first night. And right there in the kitchen, I was alone in that tiny kitchen. And this is what the Lord said: before you knew you even had a need, René, I provided for you and your family. And it just stayed. And it just sealed my heart, the unknown. And our journey started.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pastor Frederick asks, how are you guys dealing with mosquitoes and malaria?
You know, by the grace of God, we haven't had one bout of malaria. God has just
Since
kept
we've
us.
been there.
Yeah, we've been absolutely so blessed.
That must be God.
And
Sure.
yeah, the mosquitoes are there.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
No,
But I mean,
you've just put me off.
we've learned a lot from. I mean, Mama Rosalie's always got these words of wisdom. You know, close your doors at 5 p.m.
Spray yourself
You
all
know,
the time. It's
keep the doors
Just a habit,
closed.
you know.
And so we've had to learn. You know, these
Keeping
wonderful.
our doors closed is quite a big thing, you know. People, you want to keep your door open, you want the breeze to
Yeah,
come in or so, but
'cause it's so
we
hot.
had to just keep our doors closed.
Yeah.
Unless you have those wire mesh, you can open the door, but you have to keep your doors closed all the time and your windows as well. So you keep your windows open, at least it's those wire mosquito mesh you can put
Yeah.
there to prevent them from coming in. But somehow they just find their way in.
Yeah.
But keeping your doors closed prevents them from really coming in too much, you know. So then you find there's less mosquitoes in the home. And that's been helping us, you know. We have this habit of keeping the doors closed all the time, keeping your windows open with a mesh closed. And so that those things up, spray yourself regularly and all those type of things. I must say I was a bit in the beginning, the first time I went there, and I think I went with Pastor Jimmy. Incidentally, I was with your dad. We went to Kenya. And that was before we relocated.
Yes, I
that's
remember that.
Before we relocated to Tanzania. I mean, and I was very like, you know, I must be honest, I was a bit paranoid. No, really. Because I heard about mosquitoes. Now I know I don't like too much heat. So your dad and myself, we're going there. We're sleeping in the bishop's house. Your dad had his room there. I first want to check if your dad's okay, you know. Make sure dad's okay. He seemed comfortable. You know, dad doesn't worry about those things. He just want to just sleep and that's it, you know.
Yeah.
So I want to just make sure if he's okay. So I went to my room and I slept on my bed. You know what I did? I don't know. This is quite hectic. I actually, the mosquito, what do you call it? Netting. You know, you put it around your bed.
Yeah.
That already made me claustrophobic.
Yes.
And then I had my long tracksuit pants, my long thing.
Yes.
I said, ain't no mosquito biting me tonight, you know.
I remember Dad telling me about this, laughing.
And I sprayed myself, I covered myself, I gave your dad also creams and sprayed your dad as well.
He said this bad, he's never seen anyone get so hot in his life, but there he is in the tracksuit.
And listen, I was sweating that whole night because I was determined not to see a mosquito bite me. And no mosquito bit me, but I was sweating. And so I had to overcome that thing, you know. But needless to say, after that night, I learned to just relax and take it easy, you know.
Yeah.
But that was weird. That was a funny experience, yeah.
I saw someone actually ask. I saw someone asked a question earlier on. I think it said, "Do you have any regrets or
No.
what was it?"
It was aware to, and she
Oh, yeah,
asked
there we go.
whether did you ever hear, were there ever any times where you felt you had missed the Lord, you hadn't heard
Yeah.
the Lord correctly?
Oh, okay. While we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, not at all.
sure.
Look, there was a time once, I don't, you know, just being honest, there was a time that I felt that I didn't even tell you about it, when I had some challenges with bishops and pastors in Tanzania itself. I don't want to go too much into that now because
Yeah.
it's online and many people can watch and maybe be offended. But what I can say is I've arranged a big meeting for Pastor Jimmy to come
Yes.
there. And it was called the Fathers of Africa Conference. And I had some challenges because some of the guys, I'm talking about top guys, big names, that the one guy is about 1,000 churches under him.
Sure.
And the other guys representing the Pentecostal guys of Tanzania, you know. And we had great guys. But in planning the whole conference, I had some challenges. And I felt, and I actually was hurt in that conference by
have
some
been
guys.
deeply hurtful.
Yeah, deeply hurt. And I told your dad only afterwards. Your dad was saying,
Because just to let our viewers know, no one really pitched at the conference.
yeah.
And they'd all promised to come.
Yes, it was quite
And it
hectic.
was, I mean, the auditorium was. It was a 5,000-seater. It was a 5,000-seater auditorium.
I mean, we paid
Apologies.
about 20,000 rand
Yeah.
for the actual night, you know.
Yeah.
And that money, it was money that we raised up also for a vehicle, and we had to pump that money into that vehicle, into that venue.
Sure.
And Pastor Jimmy also brought some cash to help feed the pastors. And So I was hurt deeply because I felt I didn't get the buy-in of some of the guys, and I had to deal with my heart. At least I didn't have hatred or anything towards the guys. Coming from upbringing, good Christian heritage. I learned you don't harbor bitterness. You forgive, and I had to deal with all that. So at that point, I felt, oh my God, did we make a mistake? Did we make a mistake to actually come here? I took my whole family, gave up everything that side and come to Tanzania. And did I make a mistake? I asked myself that question. And then I just shook it off again. And I just realized, no, but God actually sent us here,
Yeah.
And these are barriers that the enemy will use. The enemy will always come with counter assignments. God has given you assignment. The enemy will always come with counter assignments to discourage you, So it's important to be persistent and consistent and to keep your eyes on the vision that God has given you,
Yeah.
Megan Daniels asks, how are the girls coping with the big change, relocating?
Thanks for that question, Megan.
It's a good question.
The girls have always been my gauge.
Yeah.
When we just got into career corps, if they were good, I was good. If they had a bad day, we just didn't feel good about it, So I think it's just always been just at ground level with the kids and hearing them. I think that's also one thing that was fine-tuned in us and still continues to be fine-tuned is to listen to our children.
Look, they say children actually adapt quicker.
Yeah,
they
they
adapt
do.
faster than adults, because we set in our ways and used to doing, and they really adapted quick because the age that when we moved their age, they were quite young, like 9 and then 10.
9 and 12,
okay,
11 going on 12.
Yeah, so they were they adapted easily, So there has been some challenge with them, especially being now teenagers and all that. Sometimes they missed their friends in South Africa as well, miss the families especially. But I must say, when we planted this church River House, and they took on the role of the children's church ministry, and they took the initiative, because we had nothing with the children, so they just took the initiative and they did it, and they started loving it, so much so that they realized, but our family's here in Tanzania. So that was quite a powerful experience for them,
Johan says, we love you, Pastor D and Pastor René. We thank God you did not let that situation get to you and stayed. We thank God for you guys, for our dating to engagement to marriage and then our little boy. That's beautiful.
Amen.
Oh,
That's
precious.
great.
Precious.
Thanks, Johan.
Rosalie Farrar says, beautiful interview.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then Buiswa says, we have so much love and respect for you, Pastor D and René
Amen.
from Buiswa and Percy. Tell me,
Thank you.
So what is your vision now? What are you doing in Tanzania? What is your plan?
What we're doing right now is we're just continuing what God told us. And obviously when we planted the church, obviously things were just intensified because we saw the greater picture. As we spent time, we actually, I don't know if we said this earlier on, but we helped another pastor, actually we helped a retired judge to plant his church. We were just connected in that as well. That was, so his church is growing, flourish to 350 people now. So he's quite far from us, but we helped. We were very instrumental in helping him. In actual fact, I actually sat him down and prophetically told him, you need to plant a church with these people because we were busy doing crusades and people got saved. I said, well, these 60-odd people got saved. You need to plant a church now, because he was in another region, basically. So he said, no, I'll never see myself as a pastor, a retired judge. He said, no, not himself.
I think
But
I've met him.
You met him?
Yes.
It's Geoffrey Shire.
Yes.
What's
No,
up?
I've met him.
Yeah, Walter's brother. So, hey, 3 years after that, the man planted his church, and now he's got a successful church doing actually well, 300 or 350 people.
Sure,
that's what I heard the last time. In another region called Kibamba, yeah. So now the thing is, just to answer your question as well, so we planted this church, River House. It's an emerging church, it's growing, but there's a vibrancy,
Yeah.
The band is young people. We got a good band. The guys love God, and they really are psalmists, and they love playing the instruments, and they're worshipers. And then we have, so it's not just guys that can play instruments, but it's guys who loves the Lord, And then we have a team of young people in the church and even older people as well. But these people are just so connected to us that we are just fathering these guys, fathering and mothering them. And this is our heart now, vision for Tanzania, to raise up more sons that will become fathers in their own right, Because we're delegating responsibility to these guys, even while we're here now. I mean, they running the church there, you know. These guys are preaching. These guys are doing the offering. These guys are doing altar calls. Guys are being trained and equipped. They said they've never did this before. And many of them were in the ministry for years. And they said, this is the first time we're being like thrown in the deep end type of thing, you know. But,
you know, as well, I mean, Africa is known for having these big bishops and big apostles, and they are placed on this mantle, like this God-like mantle.
Yeah, if you're not like a doctor or apostle or this, then we don't want to talk to you, you know, that type of thing.
And so the people are there, and the bishops and the pastors are there, and the people can never get close to them, you know, and it sets people back because they think that they've got to get a revelation from the pastor. You know, so that they're never invited to that space of having a personal journey, a personal relationship with Jesus, where He intimately walks with them. You know, and so that's what we are there for. You know, we've invited people, and we continue to invite people into that space, saying, "Hey, look here. You know what? Denvar and I, we are people. We are a couple. We are not these gods or idols. You know, we have our frailty as well. We are human beings. And so follow us as we follow Jesus."
And I can see Johannes saying there that I put him under the train instead of the bus.
That's not very nice. Come on.
We've got this saying, you know. He said, "Pastor D, no, man. When I asked him to do the offering, you're doing the offering this Sunday?" He said, "No, man, don't put me under the bus." I said, "No, I'm putting you under the train, man." To form you, to become like Christ, man. So that's true, René, what you said. Very true.
It's very important, you know. So there's a lot of, I think I can call it mindset as well. Coming into the church saying, okay, no, we must just come and sit in the church, pay our tithes, bless the pastor, and go back home again, you know. But now it's like it's training them up and saying, you know what, there's value in you. You've got a voice. You can do what we are doing. You know, you can touch your community.
Yes.
Because all these things that we've learned from your dad, you know, all those in ministry, all the experience we learned from your dad, and we're basically just like living it out there, you know. Even all those things, transparency, integrity, ethical values, what do you do with the money, you know, because many of these guys think, hey, the pastors take all the money, not as if it's a lot of money, you know, that comes in the offering, but I mean, when the money comes, the pastors, there we go, nobody sees the money goes, but they see what we do with the money, there's integrity, it gets counted, people know what's happening with the money, it's transparency, this is what happens to the money, you know, they know what's happening, and just in general, you know, your dad was never big on titles and stuff.
No.
I mean, your dad didn't, I mean, we were calling him and saying, hey, Pastor Jimmy, I mean, you're an apostle. Because you've got these people under your ministries, the ministries under you. Talk about Faith Fellowship alone. All these churches, they see you as a father. And your dad didn't want to hear anything. And your dad is, you know, your dad even made a joke one day and said, there's so many people with doctorates, I feel like a male nurse. You know, when I heard your dad say that, I thought to myself, Pastor Jimmy, how can you say that? Because you are really an apostle, you know? No, you don't have to have, people don't have to call you that, but you're living it. You really live that. And so we've learned that from him. So we're not there, you know, the guys know, we're not coming there, hey, we're the big shots, we're apostles, Denvar René Marks or bishops or that. No, we're just down and plain and simple. We're men and women of God, man and woman, father, mother. We want to equip you, raise you up, release you in your giftings, and just grow the church there, you know. So our vision is to expand.
Natalie Stewart said that she was so privileged to be at the launch of the church, and now she can't wait, to go. And then Nikki said, can't wait to host you guys again. 2021, here we come, the year of better vision.
We're praying for that. Amen. Things will get better.
What did we decide to name the New Year's Eve service? We'll try again.
But listen, but having said that, you know, I believe prophetically now, I believe obviously this affects the world, what I'm going to say now. It's not just for Tanzania or for South Africa, but I believe that things will get better.
It will.
I believe it
will.
So, amen.
I want to give you an opportunity to get their account details so you can support their ministry. I'm going to ask our wonderful final control to put up the account details as soon as you can. There we go. And if you want to give towards Pastor Denvar and Renee, we're going to be wrapping up shortly. But I wanted to ask you. Crystal Smith says sending hugs and lots of plet love. That's a
She's
nice
from
place.
Plettenberg, yeah.
Love you, Chris.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Blessings to you and
I
your
want to
husband.
go to Coffee Bay or Plet this holiday, so I don't know if I'll pull it off, but we're going to try.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, what do you like most about Tanzania?
What do you like most about Tanzania? Are you going to go first?
Let me think about it.
The traffic.
Yeah. Okay. That's one of the things I hated the most is the traffic, being caught in the traffic. You have to learn, get patience taught you, you know. You have to teach yourself patience. But one of the things I love about it, like I said, is the peace. The overwhelming peace. Seriously. When you come there sometime, and you land, you just somehow just sense it,
Sure.
you know, the peace. And you see the people, karibu, they're greeting, they welcome, always having this welcoming heart, you know, greeting you. And the kindness, and very hospitable.
Very.
And the kindness of the people, the peace, the smiles that people give you, you know. It's like almost like you to think to yourself, are these people actually angry? You know, you struggle to find somebody that's really angry. And then if you find somebody that's angry, you find that it's actually a foreigner.
Crystal Smith says the food.
Truth.
Yeah.
The food's amazing. The fruit
Yeah.
is absolutely like nothing under the sun. The sun sets, the sun rises. We love going for 6 a.m. Sunrise walk, just 10 minutes away
I
from
must
our home.
confess that I'm not usually joining them.
I was thinking that's very committed. Although if it's warm, then it's much easier to get up at 6 in the morning.
I prophesy that 2021 there'll be many more walks.
If I start running with you, I'll become that thin guy that Richard saw me years ago in 1993.
85.
1985, yeah.
I also feel that there is a sense of safety as well. You know, I mean, even while we stayed in Kariakor, one of the most notorious places to live in, we were never mugged.
Oh, yeah.
I never felt the sense of having to look, you know, over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Never.
Look,
You
we were
know?
actually street smart as well. Coming from South Africa, we were very street smart. So we knew how to handle
Yeah.
ourselves, you know.
It makes me sad.
Yeah, we love the sounds, and you know, we love the sounds.
The bustle
There's
of the
a
city.
sound of Tanzania. There's a sound there that we love.
So Madge asks, what was the biggest challenge you had to overcome in Tanzania apart from the weather?
The language, Madge. The language. It's Swahili, and you know, we have attempted, me more than him, the language. We went for a couple of classes, both Karen and myself, while we were there, very diligently. So vocabulary, amazing with vocabulary, but in terms of grammar and, you know, putting the words, I'm going to give it another shot, I promise you. So I can greet, I can help myself at the Ducat, a little shop, you know, to get some fruit and veg. But yeah, I would say the language.
Also, I think I was spoiled a lot, Richard, because the thing is, you know, we have our interpreters there all the time. So they just helped me a lot, you know, to speak. When I preach, they just interpret. And actually, that's also one of the challenges I had to face in the beginning, because when you have like a 30-minute sermon, you have to compress it to 15 minutes. Because the interpreter will take double the time, you know, your time as well. So that's why I learned to preach actually shorter. And then I found it actually good to preach shorter, because then you get to the point and you don't waste your time, you know. So when I come here, there's no interpreter, you can keep short messages.
You know, I've been talking to a top coach about helping us with improving our connect groups. And he says that people can only listen for 18 minutes, and then they actually have to take a minute break. Wow. Otherwise, they forget everything they've heard.
Sure.
So
18 minutes.
18 minutes. And then you can carry on and do more. But you actually have to have like a break for a minute.
I first thought it was a bit longer, at least, you know. But 18 minutes is shorter, so that's quite interesting.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, so what about the floods? Yeah,
Oh my.
What about
Listen,
the
it rains
floods?
for 5 minutes. Okay, I don't know if people will believe me now. The Tanzanians will believe me. If it rains for 5 minutes, there's floods. 5 minutes, it stops.
Is it the lack of drainage?
The drainage
is it-
systems are
Or
quite...
is it just the volume of water
No,
falling
it's
out
the
the
lack
sky?
of the drainage. Okay, two reasons. The drainage systems are quite not so good
working
with
on
the
it
planning.
now,
They're
though.
working on it now. Give the president now his due. He's doing a good job with the infrastructure and the roads. You know, he's
Okay.
done some few flyovers, bridges, and
Quite a
the
bit
roads
of
are being. Yeah,
changes,
so
yeah.
from the airport you'll see it's beautifully. I mean, like the girls were saying, it reminds us of home in South Africa. You know,
Yeah.
just coming from the airport and doing the flyover. But now two reasons, like I said, the infrastructure that's there already, and then also the water table is generally high there.
Yes.
So when it rains, but you just see
Yes.
the floods, eh?
In PE, for you
Yeah.
guys out there, it's been so dry that until a month ago, if it rained, there wouldn't even be puddles.
Sure.
Wow.
But we've
Yeah.
been getting
Yeah, yeah.
not heavy rain, but lots of.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
brought the rain.
Yeah, I know. I told your
It
dad.
arrived about 3 months ago. Sorry, Renee.
I told your dad we're gonna bring the rain when we come here.
No, it finally.
You know, it rained so much that we actually had fish in our yard.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Promise you.
We were actually, but
I've got
concerned
photos to prove
the
it.
last time we were concerned when the floods were 5 minutes of rain
yeah.
and the water they're now behind outside our directly outside our wall outside. There's some trench. There's a trench.
There's a
there,
drainage,
But that
the drain.
Yeah, but that thing filled up to our wall, man. And we were concerned, but God was good. He kept us safe. Yeah.
So, we've come to the end. I want to encourage you to tune in again next Tuesday, because guess what? The tables are going to be turned. Pastor Frederick is interviewing me. If you have had questions that have bothered you all about me, here's your chance to ask them next Tuesday. Tune in.
Awesome.
And then this Thursday, please tune in for praise and worship. We're going to have prophetic praise and worship. And then also, don't miss out this Sunday, because we're inaugurating the new senior pastor of the church, and you need to tune in. It's going to be a very important day. So I want to encourage you to join us. We've got a great program coming up, and I want to thank Denvar and René for coming to South Africa when they did. It was important to me. I really appreciate it. And for sitting through the interview. I won't lie, René was nervous.
I wasn't nervous, Richard.
I'm actually glad she came, because she wasn't feeling 200% well, eh? For this
No, I'm
week, so
teasing
I'm
her.
glad she
I
came.
did warn her I was going to tease her, so
It's okay.
Well, just
you did good.
Just
thank you.
Just also say
Thank
what
you, René.
just also say what you said. Like we are actually also glad that we are here, Richard, in this time.
Yes.
I think it's a pivotal, a very important time in the history, on the calendar of Word of Faith,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and coming to be in time for Pastor Jimmy's funeral as well, and then obviously Realton as well, which is one of the pillars of
Yeah.
the church. And it was really quite hectic for us, you know.
Yeah.
Even now, too, I must be honest with you.
It's still hard.
I know the ministry continues in life, but it's really hard for us, you know.
Yeah.
We're still busy dealing with those things. But anyway, it was God's timing, and we're so honored to be here in this time, you know, and to share with you and to be with you in this pivotal
Well,
time,
thank you
to
so
support
much.
you as well. And God's blessing is on you, and we're excited for you. It's
Thank
a
you.
new season for you, a new shift for you as well.
Yeah.
And I was preaching about that the last
Yes.
2 Sundays, about a shift happening. And there is definitely a big shift happening in the ministry here in the church. And I'm excited for you. And we're praying for you. We speak blessing over you. And I know the church will go to a new level.
Amen.
Thank you, Denvar.
Amen.
That
I believe
means
it.
a lot.
Yeah.
Margie Tembekeni says, love you, Pastor Denvar and Pastor René.
Oh,
Missing
yeah.
you and the girls. Thank you for all you do.
She's also one of the ladies from
Yes.
Dar es
Yeah.
Salaam.
I worked
Love you,
that out
Margie.
because she made it, when you said about there more cars than roads, she laughed and thought it was earlier. So I'm actually glad that she commented,
Yeah.
because I wanted to pick it up. Denvar and René,
Yeah.
thank you so much, especially Denvar, or René as well, for those kind words. Thank you
Yeah.
for joining us. And I want to encourage you to support them. Pastor Mariana says, I really loved the interview and made me miss our time in Tanzania. I love all of you.
Yeah, we loved having your
Yeah.
dad and mom there.
Absolutely, we had
It
a
was so
ball.
beautiful to have
We
them
had a
there.
ball,
Awesome
Pastor
time.
Mariana.
Yeah, we still talk about those times, eh? Beautiful times, yeah.
So, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Bless you, and see you on Thursday.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks,
Bless
Pastor
you.
Richard. Bless you, everybody. Thanks for the nice comments. And we love you all. Thank you for the support.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. That went
Cool.
well. That went well.